Hello all and welcome back to the Burning Crusade. It is another beautiful day here in the Outland. The perfect day to start a series of videos in which I will be showing you a guide for, in my experience, the best way to efficiently level from 58 to 70. Um, Reputation factions play a pretty big role in your pre-raid gearing process um, in the Burning Crusade. There are various reputation factions across the map that all play a part in getting you from a fresh level 70 to a Karazhan ready level 70. Um, so as I go through each zone on the map, describing my favorite or best places to level, I will be also doing a sort of analysis of all of these reputation factions that you will find out throughout the Outland, and what you need from each one based on your class and your group role and all that good stuff. So, you arrive in the Outland at 58 or level 60 if you decide that you want to uh, spend an extra month grinding grinding your way from 58 to 60 in terrible, awful vanilla zones like the Plaguelands and Silithus, which you shouldn't do. Just go to the Outland at 58. You arrive, obviously, through the Dark Portal, and you are immediately exposed to your first reputation faction, which is either Honorhold for the Alliance or Thrallmar for the Horde. Separated by this path of glory, these two factions are at war with each other because Horde and Alliance, of course. So here we are in Honorhold. You're really just going to be exposed at 58. Not all of the quests are going to be available to you right away, but you will get the introductory quests, which will lead you to just some basic map exploration around this first sort of area before you reach Hellfire Citadel. And that should get you to 60 with little to no effort, and you'll be well on your way to getting some decent gear upgrades. The quest greens that you get from your first arrival in the Outlands are better than just about anything that you'll get in the old world. So it is imperative that you head to the dungeons and you work your way up into the quest line to the dungeon quests as quickly as you can. And I'll go over why in just a second. The three dungeons of Hellfire Peninsula are Hellfire Ramparts, the Blood Furnace, and the Shattered Halls. The Shattered Halls is a top tier normal dungeon, so it's accessible around level 68, and is really a one of the dungeons that you would start farming at level 70 for gear. But again, that's later on down the road, so don't need to worry about that for now. The first quests you're going to get are going to lead you to Hellfire Ramparts, which is this dungeon right over in here. And the second, and then soon after that, after you finish those quests, you will be sent over here to the Blood Furnace. Now, it is important to note that the lower level dungeons all throughout Outland, not just Hellfire Peninsula, will not award reputation for killing mobs past Honored. So if you get Honored and then you go and do Ramparts and Blood Furnace, you won't get any reputation. So it is important that you get those quests to do those dungeons as soon as possible, and then do those dungeons, preferably before you reach the honor mark, just so that you can get that bonus reputation, because completing quests will award you reputation no matter what your current faction standing is. Honorhold and Thrallmar is one of the, I believe, 5 reputation factions that awards a key at Honored Reputation that unlocks the heroic difficulty for certain dungeons, which are the Hellfire Citadel dungeons here in Hellfire Peninsula. The Flame Rot key can be purchased at Honored. It is important that you attain Honored with all of the respective reputation factions, ideally before you hit level 70, so that you can jump right into heroics as soon as possible, because heroics are a huge part in gearing up your character all the way through, really, tier 5 and pre-tier 6. Okay. So really, you shouldn't have to really go searching too much for quests. From 58 to, I'd say, about 61, you can pretty much just stay right in these zones here at Honorhold and across the way over at Thrallmar. You will eventually come across a quest to go kill an elite over here in the pools of Aganar, which I highly recommend doing. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's, I want to say Overlord, or something like that. You have to kill, I believe his name is Arazius the Cruel, here at the altar in the pools of Aganar. It is important that no matter what class you play, that you do that quest. It is a group quest, suggested players 3. And it rewards a very good trinket. A trinket that, unless you get really lucky with dungeons as you're leveling, a trinket that you will most likely be using through your gearing process once you hit level 70. A lot of trinkets have a really low drop rate, so it is important to get what you can where you can, and that is a great trinket to get starting off. Now, ideally you don't want to stay in Hellfire Peninsula longer than around level 62, just because there are other opportunities throughout the rest of Outland that you do want to get to without wasting your time leveling and doing quests for certain areas and certain groups that won't reward you in your long-term progression, including your level to 70 and your pre-raid gearing process. So there are a couple of other areas in the map that you can level. The Temple of Talhamat for the Alliance, which is a Exodar Draenei based leveling area, and the Falcon Watch, which is a Blood Elf based Horde leveling area. There are some quests for over here in the this, whatever they call this, the Great Fissure. Some quests over here and here and here and here, but like I said, you really don't want to spend too much time over leveling these. You should just really use these as a gap closer for reaching that level 62 mark. What you really want to do is, if you've done all of the available Honorhold and Thrallmar quests, what you really want to do is just focus on dungeons if you can to get those levels, because that gear is really going to help you out. And also the intangible aspect of doing as many dungeons as you can, like getting experience with your class, learning how to perform your class role effectively, is valuable knowledge. If you just spend your whole way leveling up to level 70 questing, and then all of a sudden now you're thrust into this world of dungeons and heroics and you don't know what to expect, what to do, maybe you're unfamiliar with your class and a group dynamic, you can really struggle. And it's important to go into level 70 as knowledgeable as you possibly can be with regards to your class and its performance. I can't remember if there's anything else. No, that was about it. So Hellfire Peninsula, the last place you want to make sure you hit over on this, over in this zone is over here, the Cenarian Post. There's a brief little quest chain that you can start here that will expose you to the next reputation faction that you'll encounter, which you will encounter in the next zone, Zangermarsh. But this will give you a head start, get you on your way to Honored. And that should be about it. If you do quests for Honorhold and Thrallmar, you should easily get your desired reputation, and then you can move on to the next zone, Zangermarsh, at level 62. Now, I would like to briefly go over the reputation rewards for Honorhold and Thrallmar, just so that you can maybe get some insight for your class specifically. So, Friendly and Honored benefit you as you're leveling up as far as gear goes. So, the gear that you'll get is for lower levels, so I mean, it's definitely helpful, but like, this isn't something that you should be like striving or working to get. Now, that being said, of course, you will get the Honored reputation, so it is important to know that these resources are here for you. So Friendly, looks like we've got just a couple of recipes for enchanting. The top-end Bracer enchant for healing is sold from Friendly. Jewel crafting and a leatherworking pattern. At Honored, there is a caster DPS ring for level 60 and a DPS sword for level 60. In addition to a fire resistance head enchant. Some alchemy recipes. And that's about it for Honored, aside from, of course, the Flame Rock Key, which unlocks the heroic difficulty dungeons. Now, at Revered, you have the head enchant for healers. Now, all classes have head enchants that are available for purchase from reputation factions around Outland. So make sure you remember early on what your specific role's head enchant is and where it's sold, because this head enchant you will use all throughout your endgame journey. These are the head enchants that you will use. There are no head enchants anywhere else except for sold by reputation factions, so it is important to realize what yours is, where it's sold, and then get that reputation by the time you hit level 70. Now, at Revered and Honored, you have level 70 gear that is available for purchase, a healer ring at Revered, and a polearm also at Revered. The ring is pretty good, and the polearm is decent. Now, there are other polearms and weapons like this really everywhere. So, if you're looking and say, oh, that polearm, I'm going to need a polearm when I hit level 70, trust me, you're going to have plenty of other opportunities to get this quality of weapons. So if your only goal, if you're, say, a hunter or a ret paladin, or, something like that, you might, not want to farm that just for that sake. Now, at Exalted, there is a very good caster DPS sword, a very good tank sword, and a decent ranged weapon for hunters. Now, all of the rewards are basically the same thing for the Horde. This right here is an axe instead of a sword. Here, I can just show you. So here you have the Warbringer, which basically, you know, same stats, same everything. It's just an axe instead of a sword, and of course same stats on the bow, polearm, ring, you know, all of that. It's all the same. Whether you're Horde or Alliance, it's all equal. So that about does it. My advice to you healers out there that are looking to get revered is stay in honor hold as long as possible and do all of the quests that are available to you. Make sure that you do these Hellfire Citadel dungeons before you do many of these quests here. You know, so that you can earn as much reputation as you can as you level. Now, honestly, if you're a healer, I honestly would recommend spending probably 60 to 70% of your time leveling, from 60 to 70 in dungeons, just because if you've gotten to level 58 or 60 playing as a healer and leveling as a healer, then you know the struggle. And so you really want to cut back on as much questing time as you can, because really standing around in a city or whatever looking for a group is just about as productive as trying to kill a bunch of mobs as a healer. Now, some classes are easier than others to level in that aspect, and some classes are harder. Oh, here we go. Someone's looking for the Overlord quest. Yep, I was right. It is Overlord. Yep, but that about sums it up. Now, healers do also keep in mind that Shattered Halls will award reputation beyond honored. So if you haven't hit revered by the time you've gotten to the point where you should be leaving Hellfire Peninsula, don't stress about it, don't worry about it. There are more quests that you can come back and do associated with that dungeon, the Shattered Halls. And keep in mind also that all heroic dungeons award reputation through Exalted when you do them. So if you're on, you know, halfway from honored to revered and you hit level 70, all you have to do really is jump in a heroic or two, and you'll hit revered. No problem. It's a Felt Reaver. Yeah. Be careful of these things. They'll one-shot you. It's not fun. I wish I knew the patterns that they walked around just so I could map it out for you. But basically they walk around like this, down through here and around, and then they come over this way, and they basically just do a giant lap around this. And yeah, they're nasty. You don't wanna come across these. Or you don't want one of these to come across you. Now again, there are other leveling zones that I did not mention, or leveling areas over here, but those are the most important, and if you finish those, then you should have no problem getting the hell out of Hellfire Peninsula by level 62 and moving on to your next zone, Zengermarsh. Join me again later in a day or two, or a few days, or however long it takes me to put out the next video, which will be for Zengermarsh and the Cenarian Expedition Reputation faction. Press like, subscribe, leave a comment if you think I'm a fucking idiot. Actually, I prefer you didn't do that, but I mean, it's your right as a human being to voice your opinion, so I mean, do that. I just prefer that it's a good opinion. Anyway, I will see you all next time.